Guys, today we're going to find out what is inside of the bunkers, what is under them, and what the imagined order has been hiding. Now, before we get into it, guys, if you're hoping for this to happen to your locker, you guys know what to do. Leave a thumbs up on the video, but be quick before the video starts. But yes, guys, we have got so much stuff to talk about in regards to this story and the new update that is just around the corner. And what I mean by that is we're going to be revealing some brand new stuff about the imagined order and also taking a look under the map to see if we can find some secrets about the bunkers, the underground headquarters, all of that stuff. And by the way, guys, over 80% of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed, so if that's you, you're missing out, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, for the challenge with the comments on last video, a lot of you guys got it right. It was the skin Enforcer, but this time let's do this skin right here. It's not a super tough one, but I'll leave hearts on a bunch of the comments that get it right. Also, be sure to use code SIRS in the item shop and comment down below if you do, and I'll leave hearts on a bunch of those comments as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into it here. Now, first things first, guys, if you missed my previous video, which you should definitely check out, there'll be a link to it at the end of this one as a card. But just as like a little bit of a recap of what we talked about, this week's challenges actually revealed a ton of stuff about the story, and if you completed the challenges, you likely know about the one where you had to find a hidden bunker. And when you completed that challenge, Bunker Jonesy actually gave us quite a bit of interesting info about this story. And not only that, all of the other challenges that Bunker Jonesy specifically gave us revealed some interesting things again about this story. Things to do with the IO guards and, you know, what they're doing underground. So we're definitely going to find out like what is underground here. But first things first, there are some other important story related stuff that we definitely need to take a look at, like with Bunker Jonesy. And specifically, like starting out here, there's one thing I want to like test. If you guys know, on the map there are NPCs that when you go up to them wearing certain skins, they actually reveal hidden dialogue that you would never see unless you interacted with them with a specific skin. Now that got me thinking, what happens if we go up to Bunker Jonesy wearing the Bunker Jonesy skin? Like, what will he say? Will he reveal something new? So let's take that and head into a match right here. Also, guys, isn't it a bit of a coincidence that this skin is literally called Bunker Jonesy? Like, he has bunker in his name, and finally we're getting to discover what's actually in the bunkers. Maybe that's a little bit of a clue, who knows? And you guys know the drill. Bunker Jonesy, we gotta go down to this island over here and find him inside of the house. And look at that, the indicator came up, so he is indeed here. So this is the moment of truth. We've got Bunker Jonesy right here with his like crazy 0-point style that honestly looks so cool. Let's talk to him and see if he has anything new to say. Wait a second, what? It's all coming together, man. Don't you see? That's not anything new, Jonesy. Come on, man. Wow, out of all people, I'd expect Bunker Jonesy to give us a little bit more info if we are talking to him as literally himself. I don't know, guys. Maybe Bunker Jonesy has gone a little bit too crazy. But I guess something interesting here behind the Storm Eye shrinking message. Wait a minute, you're not one of them, are you? I think he is indeed talking about the IO guards, all of the IO people underground, because again, from those challenges we just got recently, that's who he's talking about like all the time. He mentions them quite a few times, the imagined order. So with that being said, guys, that actually gets me curious about checking something else out on the map here. I want to take a look inside of those imagined order locations and see if we can discover anything new about the bunkers that we haven't noticed previously. So let's start off with the stealthy stronghold underground headquarters, IO headquarters, whatever you want to call it. I definitely feel like this one is one of the most interesting, and again, you go inside of here, down into this area, and you get to go underground. Again, this also begs the question of why are these locations even underground in the first place? Have they always been here, or did they teleport along with the 0-point and the other areas that teleported? But again, here we are in the headquarters, and you guys have probably been down into one of these yourself, but I find this one super interesting in particular because it has 3 elevators, which I believe is the most out of any of the headquarters. Not only that, it has these interesting little, I don't know what you would call them, but maybe like key card readers, which leads me to believe that, again, it's obviously a part of this agency that Jonesy is a part of. We get to see the picture of the agency in the background of the season 5 story trailer, so it would make sense that they'd have this type of, you know, technology, these key cards, in order to actually get down into this area. And you've also got like the servers inside of here, and again, I feel that one is the most interesting out of the 3 IO locations, but there's also like this one over here in Hunter's Haven, which I also find very peculiar because you even have like the little IO symbols above the doors, and not only that, on the wall itself. But guys, I just found something like really important, so we'll go over this and then we'll take a look under the map and see if we can find anything about these bunkers, these underground headquarters and stuff like that. But yeah, this thing I found has to do with the Imagined Order symbol. I'm sure you guys have seen this symbol a bunch, and maybe you've wondered the same thing. What is the meaning of this symbol itself? What is the meaning of all of the symbols that are around it? Well, I think I found a couple of interesting things. Like, for example, here, just jumping right into it, you'll notice that the outside of the symbol has this shape that resembles a gear. And that got me thinking, why would they choose to go with that type of design? Well, it seems very similar to the gears inside of like a watch. And those obviously have to do with time, which we know from Agent Jonesy is like a big part of this whole loop and things like that. And as we've mentioned in a previous video, if you take a look at the very center of the Imagined Order symbol, you will see that it's very reminiscent of the 0 point, which would make a lot of sense considering that this agency literally has the 0 point in the building. But those two things together, the reference to the loop, the reference to the time, it all connects together. But then we still have these weird symbols around the outside, which I'll admit I don't know the exact meaning of the symbols. However, a couple of them seem very similar to the symbols that we used to be able to find on Kevin the Cube. Like, for example, this one right here has those like sharp edges, and although I wasn't able to find the exact one on Kevin the Cube, there are definitely some similar ones. Now, that connection is made even more interesting by the fact that inside of the 0 point room are a bunch of things that seem to be built out of a similar material to Kevin the Cube. If you look at the slabs around the hole in the center, those have that same purple glow, and then if you look at the very top at that one section where the ceiling closes, you will see another similar purple like glow. But also, I think you can even see some of those same Kevin the Cube symbols, which is super interesting. However, it's obviously not only that, because if you take a look like down here, you will see one that's just a swirl, and then a couple of others that have other weird shapes that don't really make too much sense. So I'm not 100% sure what those are for, but it is for sure an interesting connection. Not only that, guys, what I find even more peculiar is that these same types of symbols can be found on the IO guards, but in sort of a different way. Obviously, you can tell that they have that center symbol of like the 0 point on their shoulders and things like that. That's the main symbol, but like if you take a look at their back, you will notice 3 symbols that are pretty much the exact same as a few of the ones on the outside of the Imagined Order logo. So like, what does it mean that they have those 3 symbols specifically? Also, on the front of an IO guard, you'll be able to see that same like sort of shape that uses sharper angles or like square type angles. But yeah, what do you guys think that means? So guys, now that we've talked about all of that story stuff, we need to take a look under the map and see if we can find anything like under these bunkers, under these headquarters areas. I definitely think we can find some interesting stuff. So obviously for that, we're going to need to go into replay and just pick any of our replays. And you guys know the drill. We take the camera to the edge of the map, and that will allow us to actually bring it under the map and take a look what is under here. It looks so cool when you go under this area. But yeah, we've got a bunch of things to take a look at here. So let's just, move the camera around. Oh, and actually, this is a really cool thing to take a look at. This is one of those IO guard pods that show up on the map, but you can actually see the whole entire thing under here before it actually spawns, which is really cool because you can tell that the Imagined Order symbol is actually placed on the doors, which you don't get to see too often because they open up so fast in game. So that's pretty cool. Then if you go inside of it, there's nothing too special. The symbol is also on the inside of the doors, which is kind of odd. But then what I also find super interesting is these bottom areas that you never get to see, but they have a special texture on them that's like an arrow, and just the material seems to match like the underground headquarters and things like that, right? So I do find that very odd, just a little bit more confirmation that they're coming from those underground headquarters areas. But yeah, if we move on here, like this is super cool as well. You can take a look at the middle of the map and see that there's so many of these rocks under that center area below the 0 point, which again is just kind of cool to look at. If we go to like the very center, again, you can see all of these different giant rocks that you don't get to see very much of from above, but they go really far underneath the map, which is kind of cool. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But how about this? Let's take a look at one of the underground headquarters areas and see what it looks like from the underground area. Again, this is the one under the Coliseum, but you can see all of the different rooms, and like the staircase is right here that goes all the way down, and then you've got this big main room where the elevators are actually. So we'll take a look at that, and then you've got like a little side building for the office. But But yeah, what I also find kind of odd is that they add this texture to the outside despite not being able to actually break through the walls. They still keep it like encapsulated underground by adding these rock textures that you obviously can't break through. But that is surrounding every single wall of these underground headquarters. And like, speaking of that, let's also take a look at the one that is under Stealthy Stronghold. This one is super interesting because you've got these really tall staircases that go all the way down into the main area. And then like, oh, look at this. You can see the elevator doors, which again, we're expecting them to add, you know, actual elevators to these and build them off and then bring those all the way down further under the map for us to explore a brand new area. I mean, again, why would they add those elevator doors if that's not what their plan is? So yeah, that's super cool, but we got to take a look at the bunkers. That's what I'm most curious about here. So like, for example, let's go over to the one over on this side of the map. Wait a second. I just saw something off in the distance. Did you guys see that? I mean, that's right where the bunker is located. Like again, right here, if we go up to this, as you can see, that is indeed the bunker. So currently there isn't too much added, I guess. Obviously, they're going to likely add more in the next update, but you can see that that is indeed the bunker. And then wait a second, guys. What is this right here? That's like right directly under the bunker. And wait, they added these same types of things to the headquarters on the outside. You guys remember that? So like, does this mean that they're going to open up these bunkers and we're going to be able to go down in them, maybe through like a column or something like that, which would be surrounded by these walls, similar to, again, those headquarters areas that we saw over in, where is it? The Colosseum. So yeah, in like the next update, they're likely going to expand this downwards so that we can go inside of it and then it'll be surrounded by those walls. That is crazy, guys. Okay, but with that being said, we got to take a look at the other bunkers quick. This is the one over under the island. So yeah, I don't see anything, you know, too crazy about this one. I guess you can see the inside texture under the door a little bit better, but they don't have any of those walls under this one, so that's a little bit odd. Nothing too crazy with that. And then finally, we got to take a look at the bunker that is out under the water. I'm not expecting anything too crazy with this, considering that it is, again, like underwater, and where even am I right now? Okay, yeah, here is the bunker right there, and then, oh my gosh, they actually have that same texture underneath this one as well, which again means that they're likely going to expand this, and that we're likely going to be able to go inside it. That's actually crazy. Expect that to be added like in the next update or maybe the update after. But yeah, what do you guys think of all of that stuff? Let me know down below. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on all of these things. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications to be kept in the know with all of this story stuff that is happening. Also, you can check out some of my previous videos, such as the one on the top, going over the Agent Jonesy boss and his mythic item. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.